Welcome back programmers. In the third part of sklearn series, in the previous video we saw how to use the pandas library to manage and visualize the data, and in the previous video we saw all of this function. So in the today's section we are gonna move on to the histogram. So let's first, I'm gonna copy this Irish data and I'm gonna paste this in here, and I'm gonna copy this line too, and then I'm gonna paste this line in here. Okay, now let's talk about Irish data histogram. Now what is histogram? So you can see this is the histogram. You can visualize the histogram using the histogram function. So let's use this. Let's say data frame equal to, again data frame, I already talked about what is data frame. If you wanna know what is data frame and how to load this data, so the link is in the description of scikit-learn part 1 and scikit-learn part 2. What is pandas? Okay, so I just created a data frame and then I'm gonna pass the Irish data, and then I'm gonna pass the columns equal to Irish data dot features name. Okay, now let's see what is df. So you can see the data frame. You can see the data frame is sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width, and the index is null. Why the index is null? Because we forgot something, Irish data dot data. Yes, now you can see all of this data because we need to load the data in here. Okay, you can see all of this data. This is the features name and this is the features. Okay, these are the feature and this is the features name. Okay, sepal length, sepal width, petal length and petal width. Now how to visualize this data in the histogram? So simply just do this df of, let's visualize this data. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna pass this in here, df of sepal length. So all of this data is gonna store in this, are gonna show in this line, and then I'm gonna use the dot hist. Let's first see only sepal length. So let's say spl equal to, whenever I'm gonna print the sepal length spl, you can see we got error, sepal length keyword error, because its name is sepal length cm. So just write the real name. You can see we got the all of the data of this sepal length, and name equal to sepal length and length equal to 150 and data type equal to float. Now let's visualize this data in the histogram. So just simply do is spl dot hist. This is the short form of histogram, and now you can see the histogram of this sepal length. So if you wanna change this histogram's width, so just write 30 in here or any number you want to change. Oops, you can see we got error, group per for 30 not one dimensional. So you have to add bins equal to 13. So you can see this is kind of thin now, and when I change the value into, let's say 10, you can see this is kind of fat now. And if I do like this 68, you can see this is too much thin, and you can observe all of this chart in here. So that's how you can visualize the histogram using these hist functions. So now let's move on. You can also color the histogram by the target variable. Now if you wanna add the color, so just use for class number in np.unique. Now if you don't know what this unique function do, just check out my previous video, and then pass the irish.target and then plt.figure1, and then change the Irish data frame into spl length dot iloc class number and dot histogram. Now I know you are confused, but we are gonna talk this about in the later video. This is not important for now. Now let's move on. Now if you don't know how to plot the NumPy using Matplotlib, so check out my Matplotlib video, link is in the description. I'm gonna skip all of this now. Now back to the iris example, we now store the first two features of the observation as x and the target as y. Observation as x and target as y, a convention in the machine learning community. So x equal to iris.data and y equal to iris.target. Now what this means, it means we are fetching the first data. So let's use this, and now I'm gonna go in here and copy this and paste this in here, and I'm gonna change the iris data into the iris, so you can't confuse in iris data and iris.data. Okay, so let's say x equal to iris dot data, and I'm gonna fetch the data of, and then I'm gonna print the x, and you can see we got all of this data. And if I just print the data, you can see we got a whole list, but we don't need whole list for now. For this example, we got 4 features, but if we do like this, you can see we got only 2 features. We are getting only these 2 features from 4 features from single list, so just use this to get only 2 features. Okay, now I'm gonna remove this, and y equal to iris dot target, and when I print the target, you know what is the target, 0 0 1 1 and 2 2. So I'm gonna remove this print line. We now just store the first 2 features of column of the observation as x and the target as y, convention in the machine learning community. Now a minimal machine learning recipe, SVM classification. We are learning a minimal machine learning SVM classification. Machine learning is all about making prediction. To make prediction, we will state the problem to be solved, choose a model to solve the problem. You can choose linear regression, logistic regression. We got a lots of model, and then simply train the model, make prediction, and measure how will the model performed. So these 5 is the important to create the machine learning algorithm. You can even note it down, because in TensorFlow you can do this same thing. Now how we are gonna do this? But first we state the problem. We are trying to determine the flower type category from a set of the new observation. This is the classification task. The data available includes a target variable which we have named y. This is the supervised classification problem. Now if you don't know supervised and unsupervised, so the link is in the description. The task of supervised learning involves the prediction values of an output variable with a model that trains using the input variable and an output variable. This is the very simple. The supervised learning involves the prediction value of an output variable with the model that train using the input variable. So let's say this is our input device and this is our output device. So from here the data is gonna be trained, and then we are gonna get the output. So that's how classification work. For example, the data is to find is this a dog or cat. So our model is gonna be train the data to what is cat and what is dog, and then make a algorithm to fetch the data, and then it is gonna give us the output. If the data is cat, so it is gonna give us the 0. If the data is dog, so it is gonna give us the 1. So that's how our classification works. Next we choose a model to solve the supervised classification. For now we will use a support vector classifier. Because of its simplicity and interpretability, it is a commonly used algorithm. Interpretability means easy to read into and understand. To measure the performance of prediction, we will split the dataset into training and test sets. The training set refers to data we will learn from. The test set is the data we hold output and pretend not to know, as we would like to measure the performance of our learning procedure. So import a function that will split the dataset, but we are not gonna split the data like this. We are a Python developer, we know how to split the data. You can teach us how to split the data, you bitch. Okay, so we are gonna use the Irish datasets in here. So this is our Irish datasets, but first let's see how to train and the test data. Before train and test, we have to create the train and test data. So let's quick do this. X train equal to iris dot data, and let's first see the data shape so we can see how much data we want in the training section. Let's find out dot shape. You can see we got 150 data, so we are gonna get the 17 data. Okay, it's good for now. 17 data, and same is in here. Y train equal to same iris dot data. Now that's how you can split the data, but in this book you can see the author used the train test split. So why let's just use this, because this is the quick process. So I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste this in here. You can see from sklearn.model selection import train test split. So with the use of this train test split, you can train the data and split the data, not the actual train. You can just store the train data in the X train or Y train. So I'm gonna remove this and let's say X train, Y train, and X test, and the last one is Y test equal to train test split. Okay, and then we are gonna pass this X and this Y. So the X is our data and Y is our target. Again, X is our data and Y is our target. Now let's add the X and Y and how much data you want to store in the test. So let's say I want to store 0.25% of the data in the test. Okay, so let's try. Test size equal to 0.25 and let's say random test equal to 1. Now what is random state? I'm gonna talk about this in the later, and when I run this you can see you got the error invalid parameter passed test size. Oops, I add the one more extra t in here. Let's run this again. You can see it didn't got any error. It means we successfully created the train and test data. So let's print this data. So let's first print the train data. You can see I just created the X train and Y train, and then I'm gonna copy this and paste this in here, and I'm gonna change the train into test. You can see we got train and test data in here. So the train data is this and the test data is this. So that's how you can create the train and the test data using the train test split function. And if I remove this, you can see the data is changed because it creates the random data. Random state equal to 1. If I change the state equal to 2, you can see the data is changed. So let's add the random state equal to 1. Okay, we got test and we got train. we are training the lots of data, but we are testing 0.25% of that data. Okay, in here you can see state the problem to be observed. We just state the problem. So the problem is to find the data is which category. So if I print the iris dot features name, so we are finding the data is sepal length or sepal width. Sorry, this is the features name. We are finding is this data is setosa, is this flower is setosa or versicolor or virginica. We are finding which is this flower. So if you are go in the jungle and if you find the flower and if you don't know what is this flower, you can use this algorithm to see is this setosa, versicolor or virginica. If you don't know what is this flower, okay, so that's how you can find this flower. So first I'm gonna remove this and let's find what is this. We just train the data, so computer know if the data features is 34, it means this is virginica. If the data is 20, it means this data is another flower. So this is just an example, that's not right, but just an example. Okay, so that's how you can train and test the data. Now load a regularly used estimator, a support vector machine. Now I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna import from sklearn.svm import capital SVM, sorry, SVC. So what is SVC? You know the linear regression, how it's work. So SVC is the module we are using to train the data, train our model, and we are gonna fit that data in our model. So how we are gonna do this? Let's see. CLF equal to SVC and kernel equal to, now what is kernel? What model you want to use? Kernel equal to, I want to use linear, so I'm gonna write the linear in here, and then again random state equal to 1. Now we just created our module. I'm gonna change this into model equal to SVM. We are using the linear model to train and fit the data. I'm gonna run this. The random state is fixed to reproduce the same result with the same code later. Now the supervised model in scikit-learn implement a fitxy method which trains the model and returns the trained model. X is subset of observation and each element of Y corresponding to the target of each observation in X. Here we fit a model on training data. So now let's train model.fit. Let's see, but all of the function of model, you can see we got a lots of function in here, but we are gonna use this function fit, and then I'm gonna pass the trained data. So X trained and Y trained. So that's how you fit the data. Oops, we got error. Now SVC object has no attribute to validated data. Now what it means, we are gonna see this error in the later video, but first I wanna show you something. Now if you don't wanna use this model SVC, so what you can do, you can just go in here and just write from sklearn.model selection import, sorry, not this, from sklearn.linear model import linear regression. Yes, you can simply use the linear regression model and you can do this too. Now you can see in here I just created the two X and Y. X is line space and Y is line space, and you can see the data of X and Y, and I just plot the data. I know this is the linear data, you can see the straight line, but I just made the noise. When I add the noise using the random function, so it create the data like this, and then I just train and test the data like this. I just store the first 25 data in the train and X train and Y train, and then I store the last 25 data in the X test and Y test, and then I just use the model is linear regression. Now that's how you can use the model linear regression. Now let's plot our data too, so you can see the actual data. plt.plot. I'm gonna add, sorry, not here, I'm gonna plot the data in here. plt.plot x. You can see the data is like this, and if I add y in here, you can see the data is kind of weird, but we don't need to pass the y for now. You can see the data is too much noised. We have to create the line between this data, so that's why we need the model. So we are gonna talk this in the later video. So that is it for today's guys. Now if you wanna find this error, you have to see my next part 4 of scikit-learn. So in this video we learned what is the data, what is the model, how to split the data in the train and test. So these are the very important part of the machine learning and the basic parts of the machine learning. Even you can use the SVC model, or if you wanna use the linear regression, you can use this model too. That's your choice. So in the next video we are gonna train our data and fit our data, and then we are gonna fetch the actual output like this. So that is it for today's guys. If you wanna find all of this code, so just check out my all-in-one code site, and in here you can find that blogs YouTube video in here and in here, and even you can see the code of my that's blog in here. You can copy the code and learn more. You can go in here to find my source code. So that is it for today's guys. If you like this video, just like it, share this video to other programmers, subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit on the bell icon so you'll never miss my latest video and the next interesting video, how to test the data, and the important video. So that is it for today's guys. See you guys in the next part. Thank you.